Hello, welcome to the stream. Who have we got in the chat? No one yet, but big ups to whoever is tuning in. Now then, a very difficult game to take. You don't need me to tell you that, though. It was a hard watch for the most part, but there were good things, just as there were bad things. And I'll get into it all because some players need talking about. So wait there, I'm just gonna change what's on my TV. And might as well stick on United Forest. Not gonna watch it all, but as I'm here. Look, this was not a pretty game, to say the least. It was a hard watch, to say the least. You know, like I don't even know where to start. You know, that's how like I'm struggling to even find a way to start this. I guess I'll just hop straight into player ratings. Ortega, I give him a 6. I thought he was all right. I thought both goals are difficult. You know, the first goal, you can argue he needs to get down lower, but I also argue that it's very difficult to get even down though when they're that close to you and hitting the ball at you so hard. You know, that's not an easy save to make, and if he makes it, it's genuinely world class. You know, sometimes he's going to get it, and he almost did. You know, it didn't come down to a lack of effort. He almost got there. You know, had the guy been another yard out, he'd probably get both hands on it. You know, it was a real great bit of play from Ortega. Almost, you know, he does get unfortunate and does concede it. And on the header, the commentator kind of puts it perfectly when I was watching the game. All he needs to do in that situation is get the ball on target, and it's probably going in, and that's what happened. He got plenty. You know, the power on the corner was already good enough, and he gets plenty on it. He gets a ton on it. It's a really good header. You know, there's no doubt about that. Connect helps at bottom of the league, 24th, and our new manager comes in for Wednesday. Only way is up. Yeah, quite literally. Welcome to the chat, though. 6 losses in a row, winless in 11. Ooh. Got an itch by my ear, which is awkward because I got this on. Moving on to Walker. That was a disaster. I'm sorry, it was. There's plenty to talk about, which I'm going to get into. Ref was a disaster, Walker disaster, Pep's a disaster, everything was. Yeah, I'm going to talk about certain incidents along there because some things were crazy. Walker, I've given him a 6. I didn't think he was awful today. I thought out of his performances of being bad, this was probably one of the better ones. I thought he got in a lot of blocks, not a lot of blocks, Mana got a lot of blocks in as our man of the match. He got in a lot of it. He got in high interceptions that went back high up the pitch. 6, he was at fault for both goals. I think Rico Lewis is more at fault for the second goal, not for the first goal. I'm not going to lie. The second goal, absolutely. But for the first goal, I blame it more on Rico. He needs to be watching that better. That's his man. So Walker is weak on the header. He hardly gets up. Both feet hardly leave the ground. 4-1 win versus Juve, still winning the treble. Big ups. I like the positivity, FIFA. Walker on the corner. Both feet barely leave the ground. Walker played the offside trap. We were doing offside trap and Walker played it on. Yes, I get that, but Rico still has a responsibility to watch his man. True, okay, Walker doesn't help, but I think Rico still needs to watch it, okay, because even then, you've got to watch your man. You've got to watch your man as a fullback. I sympathise with Rico because of that, but he needs to still do it. I'm not completely annihilating the blame of Walker, and I'm not completely putting it on Rico, but I'm saying that despite that, there needs to be a failsafe. Just because the offside trap doesn't work because a player messes up. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not happy with Walker. And I'm going to get into Rico. I've got things to talk about, and I sympathise with him a lot for this game. Hola, says HFC Vlogs. Big ups, welcome to the chat. So moving on from Walker onto Ruben Diaz. I think Diaz was brilliant from start to finish. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. If the blocks, Ortega doesn't make any saves that game because of Ruben Diaz. Any of the Walker's class, I think that's debatable. Any of the blocks Diaz makes, if he doesn't make them, it probably ends up being a shot towards Ortega that he needs to save. Diaz, absolutely brilliant. He stops it. He stops it from going all the way. Absolutely brilliant Diaz from start to finish. He switched on the whole way through. Vardio 5.5. I'm going to get into both. I'm going to kind of cover Rico a little bit here, but I'm going to talk about Vardio and Rico. Diaz 9. You know what? Actually, I'm going to agree. I think Diaz was a 9 today. Actually, no. I'm going to give him 8.5. I know I've given him an 8, but in what you've said there, and just giving him a 9, it's really made me think about it. The only reason he's not going to get a 9 is because it wasn't clean sheet. But genuinely, Diaz brilliant. Vardio 5.5. This is mainly because if you watch back the game, okay, not that you need to because I know most of you probably watched it. You will see that a lot of the press from Palace was directed towards Rico and Vardio. I would say it's more directed towards Rico, which I'm going to talk about in depth in a minute. But they were more worried about. I think Palace went into the game knowing. Okay, I think it was definitely a tactic that Diaz and Walker are pretty good on the ball. So is Vardio, to be fair, but Diaz and Walker's pretty good on the ball, and so if you try and get near them, they're probably going to get it away from you. But Vardio and Lewis, I think their game plan at least was they can be got at. But yeah, 5.5 for Rico now. First of all, I want to say it's never a red card. You watch it back. Chalobah's foot is on Rico's. In that, there's no point of contact from Rico. Chalobah does go down and gets hurt, and I think that Chalobah going down is the only reason Rico gets sent off. Don't get me wrong, Rico does go in sloppily. He does go in, but he misses. He doesn't hit. He doesn't connect. You watch it back, and you will see that it's quite literally Chalobah's foot on Rico, and Rico can believe he's going off. Look, when I sympathise with the ref because in the moment that is it's difficult to see. Like the moment I saw that happen, it's on Pep. It's on Pep. I said before the game, we draw, we win 3-0 with a new system, and he goes back to the system that didn't win in 7 games. Pep every single team in on set pieces. Spot on, that's like the set piece coach. Rico got a red. Yes, I'm going to talk about it because it was ridiculous. Oh, it wasn't ridiculous. It's a complaint towards the refereeing system for me. Look, in the moment, I can understand why. Rico has clearly gone in. You can see that from anywhere on the pitch. He's clearly gone in a bit sloppy, Rico Lewis. Okay? And Chalobah goes down. And he's clearly... oh, my lord, 1-0 to Forest within 2 minutes, by the way. There you go. Headed in on a corner. Yeah, but where was I? Yeah. You'll see it back, and there's no contact from Rico. It's not unbelievable, but for me, I think a system needs to be put in place. Okay, that for decisions that big, I think VAR should be allowed to get involved. Look, second yellow and red card, okay, and straight red card is still a sending off. It's still losing a man. I don't know why a VAR can't get involved on a second yellow and not a red card. I find that ludicrous for me. It's a big moment in the game. It's like if VAR couldn't get involved on they can get involved on open play goals, but they can't get involved on goals from set pieces. That's how I look at it. But VAR can get involved there. Who scored for Forest? Milinkovic, I think it was. Oh my lord! I can't believe that. I can't believe United haven't scored there. Yeah, but I think there definitely needs to be a system in place that sending offs, VAR for me, should be allowed to have an impact on. I believe they should be allowed to look at that, because one look at that on VAR, the commentator called it instantly, the moment they saw it back. One look at it on VAR, and VAR goes, oh, it's not red, turn it over. And if that decision doesn't get turned over in the week, before our next Premier League game, oh my lord, I will boil. United losing, yeah, I've got the game on here. They almost equalised, somehow they didn't. But on a whole, Lewis, look, he was in physicality, he was not a disgrace. That's the wrong word. He was capitalised on. I saw on one moment, he gets caught pretty bad, and Palace go on a good attack. I don't think you can appeal second yellows. I believe you can, because the commentator said. Let me turn my notifications off. I believe you can, because the commentator said that it should get looked at and overturned. It should absolutely get turned over, because that it's crazy. Just watch the clip and you'll see it. But on a whole, yeah, I think Rico did have some mistakes. It's a great goal by Rico Lewis, by the way. Brilliant finish, straight into the top corner. I just really hope people don't go into him too much online. Look, end of the day, like MCFR said, well, like this City said earlier, I'll put it on screen. I don't 100% agree with this, but Rico is 20 years old, same age as Savinho. This guy's got so much time to develop. To be going in at him too hard could really put a thorn into his career. If if his head drops and he can't get the confidence, it's only going to be a bad thing for him. It will only be a bad thing. Big ups to everyone tuning in, by the way. I do appreciate it. Gundogan 6.5. I thought it was all right. I thought this was a decent performance from Gundo. Look for a midfield that it hasn't got the most pace. I thought all three of them did all right today. De Bruyne, Bernardo, Gundo. I thought all three of them did decent in the midfield. I thought it was fine. It wasn't anything spectacular. There were definitely bad bits to it, but it worked-ish. There was no doubt about it in my mind that Palace's midfield was better. On a whole. Will Hughes I thought was just unbelievable. And yeah, the whole way through I thought Hughes was brilliant. I thought Lerma had good moments for Palace too. I thought Palace's midfield was absolutely better. They had more energy, and they were able to execute what they wanted to do a bit better than us. Bernardo, again, similar story. I think he was decent. The assist he gets is quite nice. He almost assists Savinho too. I think the past 2 games have been a step up for Bernardo. Hopefully it's a sign of a bit of form getting on. I think Bernardo, this was better from him. It's an unfortunate result, absolutely. One we have to take nonetheless. But I thought Bernardo can leave that game and be like, that was better from me. I can leave that and be better. Just gonna have a quick swig. So where was I? Savinho, look, 5.5, but again, like Rico, I'm not going to go into him too hard. I think that Savinho, on a whole, he wasn't bad, but that this guy, if there's ever been desperateness for a goal, and in a look, he absolutely looks it. He looks desperate for a goal. I don't know what he's going to have to do to get that. He's come so close multiple times. Even today, like he just curls it wide of the post on the rebound shot. He just curls it wide. Goes on a pretty good run, but his shot goes over. Goes and gets a good chance in the box to make it potentially 3-2. It gets blocked and further on saved. Look, everything he's sending at keepers are just being stopped. Eventually, he's going to get it right. And it will be a good day for us all because, look, everyone wants Savinho to do well, just like we want the rest of the team to do well. And I just think patience is key with all of our players, especially the younger ones, because their game is not fine yet, If Savinho was 26 years old, was 25 years old, then I absolutely agree that he needs to do better. He needs to make the right calls more and all that. But this guy's 20. And plus, the biggest thing here, the guy is 20 years old. He's 20, okay? In 3 years, look, in 3 years into his time at City, and, into adapting to the system and learning the Premier League and all these different competitions. He hasn't played in the Champions League before playing for us. If he can, once he learns all that, in 3 years, he'll only be 23. He'll still have years ahead to improve his game. And look, he's gotten a couple of assists this season. It's not like everything he does is incorrect. There's plenty of time for Savinho to improve. But look, we've got to look at it. Look at Leroy Sané. First season wasn't that inspiring. Was all right. But what followed with Leroy Sané? Leroy Sané went on to become a fan favourite winger after his 18-19 season displays, and especially those displays, 17-18, everyone was quite liking him too, and he ended up being a huge goal threat for us. He was a brilliant winger, Sané, and look, I don't know if Savinho is going to be exactly the same. I think they're quite different players, but I think there is a lot of potential with it. So let the man grow. De Bruyne, 7.5. Most of the joy we had today came out of him. That chance he makes extremely early on. He easily could have had an assist today, De Bruyne. I'm pretty sure he had something to do with the moment where Gundogan hits the post. So many different little plays De Bruyne makes, and they tend to end up in an almost situation. Like I said, basically everything that was going our way came through him. There were exceptions. Bernardo's assist to Rico. Bernardo's assist to Rico. What's his name? I can't remember it. Nunez's assist to Haaland. But I think the majority came from him. Main thing is we didn't lose. Yeah, that's another way to look at it. It's drop points, but it's not a loss. It's a draw. Which is better than nothing, I suppose, especially since we were down to 10 men, and rightfully in the last 10 minutes. It was a brilliant display from De Bruyne for me. He made a lot of opportunities, and just a shame no one could really finish them on a whole. Nunez, 7. I thought the assist he got was quite good, and I thought on a whole he was decent. I don't really feel like he made too many errors, and I thought decision making was pretty good too. Like I say, I think he was decent the whole way through, Nunez. I think it was a good game from him, and another way to be happy for him. I'm off now. Take care, Blues. Big ups for tuning in, FIFA. Big ups. Haaland, 6.5. The one thing I can say is that he should score that chance at the beginning of the game. That's a huge chance, a golden chance to get right back into it. Would you rather Frimpong or Porro? Probably Frimpong. I think he'd be cheaper. I think Frimpong is bound to be cheaper because I'm pretty sure he's got a release clause in there somewhere. So for me, Frimpong. But Haaland, the headed goal he gets is great. The assist from Nunez is really good too, to be fair. I was really happy with Haaland's header. I think that's a really good one. Just gets it over Henderson, which is exactly right. And did he really have anything else other than that? I do think there's a moment where I wish he was in a better area, because I think it was Diaz. Diaz goes on a really good run surprisingly into the box. He squares it, but no one's even there. The keeper gets to it fairly easily. Big ups to everyone that's tuned in up to this point. But yeah, Haaland, he was all right. He gets a goal, which is good. Doku, look, Doku and Grealish, to be fair. The thing is here, they both came on too late. They both came on way too late. If there was a moment you were gonna, I would have done it around the 60th minute. Okay, personally, and if you don't do it, then do it after Rico scores. You've got to do it in that period. I'm not 100% sure when both were made. I know Grealish was in the final 5 minutes, came on for De Bruyne, but let's see. Grealish was Grealish came on the 86th minute and Doku came on the 79th. I think they both need to be on before the 70th minute. I think that is absolutely the case. I think he needs to be on before that, to be honest. Pep up for dropping Grealish and Doku. Yeah, I looked at the reasons for it. He did speak about it in an interview. What was it he said? He said Grealish struggled in training and that Doku's just come back from a muscular injury and they don't want to risk aggravating it. So I understand why they did it, but at the same time, I think they need to come on earlier. I think they absolutely do. And even then, you've got other players like McAtee available on the bench too that we just refuse to sub on. But yeah, I think both subs came on and did decent. No doubt about that for me. I thought they were both quite good. That concludes player ratings. On a whole, I thought the performance was decent. We're still shipping a lot of shots, even if Diaz did block multiple of them today. Diaz was brilliant for me. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. It's a disappointing result to drop points on, to concede so early. It set the tone, and we never took the lead, which is something to say. It was always an uphill battle from the start. Set piece goal. Look, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Pep knows that, and we need to really crack it. We need to really crack on with it. And the flipper's got to switch soon. We need something big. Injuries weren't helping us today. The injury list is quite big at the moment. Rodri, Bob, Kova, Akanji, Stones, Ake. That's just 6 injuries. United have scored 1-1, by the way. So that's 6 injuries. That's just off the top of my head. And then you've got players like Doku, who's just come back from a muscular injury. We can't risk them too much. De Bruyne, who we've got to be very careful with, it seems. So, look, injuries aren't helping us, but there's more going on than that, definitely. The players we have, we still expect to play well. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate your support. On to the next one, midweek. And I'm doing the Chelsea-Tottenham game tomorrow, so be there or be